Hello, hello. Today we are going to paint a gnome on a child's apron. I'm all fired up about this. This is so cute. My name is Jacqueline, and this channel is Calamity Crafty Home. This is actually a clipboard I did years ago. I wrote a children's book called Gnome Land Enchanted. I haven't got it published yet, still working on it, but I'm hoping that one day I'll actually publish this. So what I did is I got some duct tape and I covered up a clipboard. I do have a video on clipboard art if you want to go back and look at it. There's some fantastic ideas on there. Anyway, I did this clipboard in a tribute to the book that I wrote, Gnome Land Enchanted. So today we're going to put some of this artwork on a child's apron. So there's our example. And today you can see my apron here. Where did I get the apron? Let's talk about supplies. Believe it or not, I got it at the Dollar Tree. I was surprised and shocked that they had this cute little apron. I believe I paid $3 for it. It was in a package, and did I find it in the craft section? Yeah, not the seasonal section, but it was back with the craft section. They had just stocked new product, and I happened to be there at the right time. So I got the apron. It's kind of a nylon apron. It's universal, right, for boys or girls, because I picked out the yellow one. And so you can be thinking either way today. We have acrylic paints we're using, and we're going to be using 8 different colors. I always use a mixture. I use up paints. I use a mixture of different companies. That's not what's important to me when I'm painting something like this. So we have red, we have blue, we have kind of a lime green that actually matches the bottom here. We've got our black and our white, our brown. I got a little pink in case I need it. So I think I covered all of those. And then, of course, we have a water for our paintbrushes. We have an old rag if we need it, and we will need it. At least Jacqueline always needs it. We've got a variety of paintbrushes that we're using. By the way, these purple-handled paintbrushes, these right here, they come in all kinds of different sizes, and somebody had asked me where I got them. They actually are a beautiful brush, and you get them on Temu, or Temu, however you say that. And they were fairly inexpensive, and I use them, and I use them all the time. So don't think just because you're buying cheap that you would be, have lesser quality. Sometimes things deliver a really good quality for a cheap price. So there they are. I've gone to Temu many times and bought these paintbrushes. So we're going to be using some of those today. I also just suggest is water, just an extra jar of water. Because I go through several paintbrushes, especially when I'm demoing something. I don't take the time to wash everything out. I do it later. And sometimes I just need fresh water. And so it's just always a good idea. Also, if you're painting outside, take the water right outside with you. I also have a glue gun going, just our little mini glue gun. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that in a moment. We've got our demo. What else do we have? I guess that's about it. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I thrift everything, and I came across these patches. I have a whole bunch, and I've been using them in different ways. I'm not even sure where they came from. I'm sure you can buy them at one of your local hobby stores. They're kind of a peace love look. And this little apron has these little pockets on it. Can you see that at the bottom? So I thought it'd be cute because we're looking at a child. This apron's going to fit probably... what, a five-year-old, something like that. 5-year-old to 7-year-old, something like that. I thought it'd be fun to glue on some patches. And that's where we're going to start for the sake of painting's sake, so I can bring this apron down to show you what we're going to do. So here we go. We're going to get our patches on. I'm going to put a green one. Let me move some things out of the way now that I've shown you our supplies here. Gotta get a little room. And I'm just going to put that little happy face right on down there. And I will show you the end results. You might need quite a bit of glue on this, I'm thinking, because I already ran out of some glue. Goodness sakes, Jacqueline. Get it together. Well, I have to say it's something like 5 o'clock in the morning when I'm doing this, but hey, it's my best time of day. We're going to put the heart on. I said that the apron's universal. Hey, boys like pink. Like, it's okay. Boys like rainbows. This is a cute little rainbow. It's not done in your traditional colors, but it is the pink and the cupcakes. It is tend to, go a little bit towards girly, but we don't care. So really put some glue on. Now I'm using acrylic paints today, but you could use fabric paints if you want to wash this. Now in my experience painting on nylon, to be honest with you, even if you do use the fabric paint, it just, it doesn't work out well. So this is more of an apron that they just dirty it up and, it's cheap enough you can make another one. Let them get the paint splatters on it. Let them get the dirt in the pocket. Let them do, whatever they want to do. They're children. Let them make a mess. So we've got some cute little embellishments there. Okay, now we're going to look at painting this little apron. Let me get it in place here so you can actually see what I'm doing. I think that'll work. Get my glue gun out of the way so we don't set the house on fire. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to paint. Oh, I did iron this. I will tell you that. I did try to iron it a little bit for what it was worth. It's still not perfect. I didn't want to use too hot of an iron on it, to be honest with you. So the first color we're going to bring in is the red for the gnome's hat. And I would suggest on this one, I was kind of pacing it out, giving it an eye. You could measure. I'm pretty good at perception. So I'm going to start just a little bit right here to the center of the apron, because as you see, the top of his cap actually swerves a little bit over to the right. And so I just gave it a little eyeball, the size of my hat, the little nose, the beard. He does have a short, squatty body. We're probably going to run it right to the base here. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my red paint out, and we're going to just see how well this goes on this nylon. And so again, we're not looking for any kind of perfection here. We are just having fun and doing this for a child. So we're going to start small at the top, and we're going to work our way down. It looks like this paint is going to go on absolutely fabulous on this nylon. I didn't, pre-make anything like this. I'm just painting as we go, loading my paintbrush pretty heavy. I'm not really worried about centering this gnome because I'm going to put some flowers in here. My favorite word lately is come hither or there. My husband laughs at me. He goes, "Where did you get that come hither or there?" I don't know. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Maybe it's, I'm becoming an American citizen. I'm actually a Canadian citizen. So I often get teased about, maybe it's a Canadian thing. But quite frankly, I actually use the whole Canadian thing too, with respect to the Canadians, with respect. So we have a little cap going on, and I can see it's not quite straight, and that's fine. Then we're going to put this trim on, or the rim of the hat. And we're going to go outside a little bit, and we're going to drop that down. I can tell you right now, go try this. This is absolutely fun already. I'm having fun. I was a strong gnome collector, and I suppose I could give you the mini version of that story and why. Okay, I'm going to come along with the paint and give a bit of a swoop-de-doo to that. We don't have to do the painting exactly, and we can always come back and add more. Okay, there is our little cap to our gnome. The next color I'm going to bring in is white. And anyway, back to the fairyland story and gnomes. Okay, if you go back to, I believe, my second video, I'm going to pull down a little bit about this red, little of this red. If you go back to my second video on YouTube, you'll see my story of living at Once Upon a Fairyland. There is a reason I've been a gnome collector. My parents owned a roadside attraction, and it was called Once Upon a Fairyland. And so I grew up with gnomes and a castle and a miniature golf course, train rides, the whole bit. And my mom had a ceramic shop in the 70s, and we painted gnomes and souvenirs for inside the castle. The Fairyland, Once Upon a Fairyland, actually illustrated the Grimes fairy tales in miniature and nursery rhymes over 12 acres of wooded land. So I've got a backstory there. And it's a fun video, so if you want to go back and watch it, go for it. We're going to go now with his beard, and you can see it has kind of a elongated look to it, and we're just going to go with white coming up to the hat, and just eyeball it, just solid white, just kind of eyeball it as you go. Whoops, did a drip. Did a drip, did a drip, did a drip. Hopefully everybody's ready or thinking about Mother's Day. Now, speaking of that, an idea for this little gnome child's apron that we've got going. If you can find, maybe even at a thrift store, a solid color apron, wouldn't it be cute to paint one for Mom, for Grandma, and for the children? It would also be just really cute if you wanted to include one for your child's best friend or a cousin. Wouldn't that just be so cute? Notice the beard has some points coming down, so we're going to offer that up and just make our little beard. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute, cute. Just again, painting over. I can see that the yellow's coming through a little bit on this white, so if we can give it a dry, we can always go over it. Okay, there we go. Isn't that darling? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, now what are we going to do next? We're going to get the blue, and we're going to create a little jacket. Basically, he's wearing a long jacket. And so I'm going to start the blue with a drop down shoulder here. And you can, this paint goes on beautifully. And I'm not going to do hands on the gnome today, just because I want to do an easy demonstration for you. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of swerve away from the actual original design here, and I'm going to make him just have a little coat, and like possibly his hands are behind his back is what I'm kind of thinking. So just pulling down, you want your paint going on pretty thick, and yeah. Children, they need to get into the garden. They need to feel the dirt, to get their little bare feet in the grass. It's so important. I'm a grandmother, and it's just important. Let's go on with his coat, bringing his little coat down. And gnomes tend to be a little bit chubby. So we're going, at least this one is, no offense to the gnome world, but they tend to be a little bit chubby. So I'm going to make this little guy a little bit chubby. But anyway, children need to get out and get into the dirt. They need to feel the grass in their toes. I'm a grandma, and my daughter has been taking her little son, who is 11 months old, out to experience Mother Earth and to feel the dirt, to get dirty. He has a little play set outside, not necessarily a swimming pool, but it's full of water. that he can play in and splash around and get wet, get dirty, and it's just so much fun. Okay, there's our little blue coat. We're doing kind of traditional colors here. Probably won't need that blue much anymore. I haven't put my paintbrushes in water, but I'm paying attention to the timing on it because I certainly don't want to dry them out. You could put pants on the gnome, but we're kind of running out of space here. So I'm just going to do 2 little blocks that we're going to pretend are socks. That would be cute if you were painting this with a child or a grandchild. Yes, we're painting blocks for socks. Okay, we got 2 little white spots there, and then I do have the color brown, and I am going to bring that in for the shoes. You could do brown or black, either way, it's fine. And we're not going to do fancy detail here. We're just getting the look. Because, you know, kids, they see life simple, right? They see life elementary. They're young. They love primary colors. They're not interested so much in the detail of a shoe looking truly like a shoe. Who cares? So here we have our little gnome. Isn't he cute? And so while that's drying, I could use a hair dryer and start drying, but I think I'm going to put my brown paintbrush in the water now because I don't think I'm going to be using it. What we could do is that we could add our flowers and other things right now while that's drying, or we could use the hair dryer. I'm going to put some grass in here, and I've got my paintbrush loaded with white, the white that I had, and I just put some green on it. You're going to start at the bottom, and you're just going to start pulling up, and however the grass turns out as you go up and down, sideways, however it turns out is just fine. Starting at the bottom, pull up. Don't be afraid to paint over your color, even if it's not dry, like the blue isn't finished on the coat there. It's not dry. Okay, we've got a little bit of green. Don't forget between his legs to bring that up a little bit. Okay, just some basic strokes. See how I'm doing that? Little cattywampus. Up this way, side. Grass grows, you know, it doesn't all grow up just straight. It grows out to the side. It goes to the left. It goes to the right. Some grass is taller than others, depending on the nutrients in the earth. You can always start pulling, go back and pull some of that grass up. Let it just lie wherever it decides to. And that's all good. Then we're going to put some flowers on here. We could do a mushroom. How about, let's do a little mushroom over here and maybe 2 flowers over here. So we're going to do a stem starting at the top, pulling down. Okay, we're going to do a couple of leaves starting at the top, pulling down. What are we going to put in the pockets of our little apron here? If the child had a favorite bunny or, you know, a doll or something, you could let the gift, you know, include that doll in the pocket. I'm going to just do 1 little leaf down here. Again, starting at the top. We'll put a little leaf up here. Hopefully I'm in camera and you can see. I get painting and I, you know, sometimes forget that I'm on a video and you're not sitting there. It's kind of like you're looking over my shoulder, right? And then let's go back. We need a new paintbrush for our white because we could use brown too. Should I use white or brown on the bottom of the... We should have actually, I just decided to put in the mushroom. But if I was to do this over again, I would actually do the base of the mushroom before I did the green, but that's okay. So a little mushroom base, you want to give it the impression that it's sitting down in the grass. Okay. And our mushroom, there we go. And then we have our red paintbrush somewhere around here. We'll just do the traditional, whoops, see, there I got green all over me. It's on the handle. This is why you need, at least I do. By the time I come out of painting something, my goodness, I've got it everywhere. Okay, that red, we're going to just do a little toadstool, mushroom, fill it on in. I'm going to bring this down a little bit so I can get that paint into the nylon. You do have to push a little bit while you're doing it, so it, the paint goes in all the little crevices of the canvas on your apron. So you're just going to do a little mushroom top. I will say, as I said about 10 minutes ago, that this is fun. This is so fun. This could even be done at like a paint party or something like that. All kinds of ideas. You do it for a craft party. Now, I'm going to go back to where's my white paintbrush? I already got a little green in that other paintbrush. And I'm going to just take this white paintbrush and I'm just going to do a little bit of a illusion there of the underneath of that mushroom. And we're going to come back and put spots on it. They might turn pink just because my paint is wet. But there we've got it. Okay, now speaking of pink, let's get the pink. And you could use flesh here too. I'm going to get the pink and I am going to make his little nose. And I do need another paintbrush for that. So let's come along up here. And you'll notice the nose kind of pushes up into the hat. And it's not exactly round. So I'm going to put that about center and make it fairly large. It's a significant little piece on his face. And if you notice, it has kind of a little tip to it. Okay, we've got that. Now, the other thing we're missing besides the polka dots is that we're missing our flowers. And that is why I brought out the pink, because I just wanted to do some cute little pink flowers. And how to do elementary cute flowers is just by circles. 1, 2, 3. I always call my flowers fairyland flowers, because in my childhood I painted fairyland flowers all the time. And they are flowers that may not even resemble real flowers. Hey, and that's okay. So we're going to do 5 little circles, not 2, not 4, but 5. That one turned out a little bit better. Okay. And then I'm going to go back. I think I still have my white paintbrush here. It does have a little pink in it, but we are going to go ahead and we're going to put in that little circle there. Paint is quite heavy. Not drippy, but heavy. And I'm going to need a little bit more. Okay, and there's just a couple of cute little flowers that we have. So back to the white. I'm going to get that pink out of my paintbrush here and go back to white. And for time's sake, I'm actually going to go ahead and put the dots on this mushroom cap. And we're going to do, I think, 5. There's 1. You could also use this tool that I have. I never thought about it right here. But I have this. I use this. I just did paint pavers. Oh my gosh, I didn't wash that off. I just saw that. Well, good thing it's a metal tip. But anyway, I could do my dots like that. I missed that. If it was a brush, it probably would be ruined. There's two. Again, I'm not looking for a perfect circle. Actually, if you see a toadstool, they certainly aren't perfect circles. They grow cattywampus. And up here, I'm going to do kind of a half circle right at the side of that mushroom cap. And it gives it kind of the illusion that, there's another side to that mushroom. Okay, so we're going to get into our black here a little bit and do some outlines. The other thing I think that I want to do, because I'm looking at this, he's looking pretty darn good, but I want to kind of touch up this shoulder business. And I think I want to make his little shoulders a little larger, so you can go back and push them out a little larger. I mean, it's not that important, but just aesthetically, for the size of his body to the size of what his shoulders would be, that is a little bit better. And I could see a little bit as this is driving, as the yellow is coming through, and because yellow and blue actually make green, I can kind of even see a green tint in here. Okay, isn't he looking just super? Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to work with our black, and we're almost done. This has been a really fun craft to do. I'm going to get, let's see, there we go, a brush with an edge. See that? Because I'm going to do some lineage. And I think I'll start with the beard. So clear the deck. Get all your other paintbrushes in the water at this time. And we are I'm going to get my cloth over here. And I'm just going to do a little bit of outline here on the black. Or the beard. And I'm going to try not to drag my hand through the paint. I'm going to start up here, and I'm just going to outline that beard to give it some definition. And you can see there's a little bit of lines in the beard. So I'm going to put some of those in just on the curve. There we go. We can outline now the jacket. And what we're doing by this is we're just making it stand out. Now, if his hands were coming forward and we were putting something in his hands, of course, you'd bring this black line over here, but we want to make sure that it looks as though his hands are just behind his back. I will start this line, however, just a little bit up and tuck it around. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. And the trick is to load your brush enough. We're going to give him a little shape. See how I did kind of that on a curve? The trick is to load your brush once and to be happy with it. And then I'm going to come down here, each side of the sock, and around the shoe. The paint is still very wet on this, so if I drag a little bit into the black, I'm okay with that. You know what? Your kids aren't going to notice, right? The kids are not going to notice. Okay, and then the other area I'm going to do is this mushroom. So I'm going to do the base of the mushroom, and I'm going to go on the top line first of that mushroom because that is supposed to be a shadow from underneath. and we are going to go around the outside of that mushroom and give it some shape. And then we're going to go under. And you can give that illusion of the underside of that mushroom. Then we know that our gnome is wearing a jacket. And this one's going to have 2 pockets on it. Doing a couple of, you can paint on the pocket, you could put little polka dots on the pocket, you could do whatever you want, but I'm just going to give that illusion that there is a pocket there. Now, I need to bring this line down more to hit exactly where that coat starts, and we're also going to give this coat a little bit of a collar. Okay, so there is your gnome with the collar. Now we're going to go back up to the cap. I'm going to turn my piece a little bit. This is so cute. Oh my word. Okay. I'm so glad I chose to do this. Please hit subscribe. I've only been on YouTube 3 months or so. If you like, that's not what I wanted to do. So now I found out because I made a boo-boo, and that's okay. I need a little bit thicker line on this hat. That's okay. I had the tie got caught underneath and made my paintbrush jump. Anyway, I've been on YouTube about 3 months, and I do a variety of crafts. I'm a craft teacher. I'm an artist myself. I love paper crafts. I actually sell ephemera packs. I paint orders for people. I just got an order for some pavers that I did for people's gardens. You can check out my paver video. Was my last video. And on this cap, we have some 3 lines that are going up, and the lines represent the fact that there's shape to the cap. Now see how I made them kind of curve? These are going straight up. Have we got our little gnome done? We could go back and put some leaves in here, but I think we're almost done. I think I'm just going to put some lines in the leaves. You could actually go around. I'll probably finish this by going around these flowers. How much time are we into? Yeah, I think that gives you the idea. There we go. There, my friends, we have our gnome apron. Yeah, be creative, have fun. I'll see you on my next video. My next video is going to be, I'm kind of moving towards, we're still doing garden, but I'm moving towards, sorry for the glare there. I'm moving towards, take it out of here. See how I thrift everything? $5.99. Anyway, I got some rubber stamps. I'm going to paint. We're going to move into some celestial garden crafts, moon, stars. We just celebrated Earth Day. Mother Earth. Go paint an apron. Have a great day, and happy Mother's Day.